Why, hello! Welcome back to Drawing with Cheesecake the Cat. That's me, Cheesecake. This is another one of our putting it all together scenes, and this time it's going to be the land of candy. Remember, we have drawn a gingerbread man, a gummy bear, a gumdrop, and a cupcake, as well as a lot of things you will find in the land of candy. So, if that sounds like fun, grab your paper and something to draw with and follow me. All right, now we're going to draw our land of candy scene using the things we've been drawing lately. And you'll notice because I usually use a larger tip marker, I've switched to a smaller tip because by the time you add in all of the elements, the larger tip makes it harder to fit in all the detail. But if you're using a pencil, it's really not a problem. So let's begin by making a nice circle right here. This will be a lollipop tree, and it doesn't have to be perfect. You just want something nice and round, and we'll make one on this side and one on this side. Then we'll make one right here a little bit smaller and another smaller one over here. Now there are more lollipop trees behind them, so let's put a little top of one there, the top of one there, the top of one here, and the top of one here. Now we'll make the stick, the stem. And just finish it down. We'll make it a little bit wide. Now this one and this one are a little bit behind it, so as a result, these stems, trunks, or sticks, whichever you prefer to call it, will be a little bit shorter. This one will be similar. And then these two are even further back, so they will be a little bit skinnier and a little bit shorter. A little bit skinnier and a little bit shorter. And this one, this one, this one, and this one in the background will be even skinnier and shorter than these. I'll make this one a little bit longer because it's closer than the far end. This one will be a similar length. And this one will be like that one. So we'll just stop it sort of in that area. Now, so they don't look like they're floating, let's put a little piece of ground right under these. This is just like in our Drawing Land of Candy Objects lesson. Next, we'll fill the patterns, the different types of lollipops. So on this first one, we'll start in the middle and spiral it outward, and just keep going until you sort of run out of room. And then connect it to the edge. And this one, we're going to give some curved lines. And just like in our other lesson, the bottom ones will curve this way, opposite of the upper two. This one will just put a little bit of an edge. And this one, I think, just like before, we'll just make some horizontal lines just to give a little variety to our lollipop trees. And this one we'll just fill it full of spots, little circles. You can make them regular, large. Back here we'll just put a little curve, some speckles, some lines, and another curve. Now for the stems, let's just make a solid shape under the first four in the foreground trees. And you see how I'm doing it? Just making a nice solid shape. But then we'll go back and put two little lines, two or three, whatever looks good to you. We'll put three here. Those are like shadows on the stems. And back here, they're farther back. We'll just put some black. And this makes that pop out from the sticks from the lollipop. Then you can also put some grass, just little bitty little doodads of here and there, speckle them around. Now we're going to do the horizon line. We'll make some nice hills. So the first hill will begin here and just slope down. The second one, we're going to go from here up to this lollipop. Imagine that it goes behind and then continue. So let's do that. Let's go right here. We'll connect it up to that lollipop. Pretend that it goes behind and then start it somewhere over here and just curve it away. Now we're going to draw our chocolate drop mountains. So if you remember our lesson, they just curve up to a point. Now we'll do the opposite on this side. We'll curve down and around. And we're just going to fill this in until we have several chocolate drop mountains running along our horizon line. And where they're behind the trees, you can just sort of imagine that they're touching at the bottom and just keep continuing. I'm going to space it a little bit because the bottoms are closer together than the tops. Getting farther and farther away. Getting a little smaller. And behind these is at least one more row. So we'll do a similar shape and a similar shape. These are more chocolate drop mountains farther away. And I'm just going to do the two rows of these, but you could do more if you feel like it. Now we're going to put a little bit of an edge with just irregular shaped lines. Some can be several dashes and dots, some can be one line. You can just make them however you want, but try to keep them all to one side. This way it looks like the lighting is the same. Let's make several dots on that one and one there. And I like my doodads, so we'll put a few doodads on the edges, on the opposite edges of those lines we just made. And then back here, to make the background mountains pop from the forward ones, we'll just put a little bit of a dark area, a shadowy area, where the sunlight doesn't really shine down there. Now we're going to make a road that goes this way for our gingerbread man, our gummy bear, our cupcake, and our other characters to walk on. So this one will make a slopes down behind that hill, and it's smaller and gets bigger as it comes forward. And then it's behind the hill, but it will come up and around. So let's go farther up, and we'll make it curve like this, right past our trees to the edge of the paper. And then here we'll be a little bit closer and make the same matching curve all the way down. Look at that, how wonderful. Next, we're going to make a bush that looks like a candy in a twisted wrapper. And I think this is a good area. So let's make sort of a rounded candy and a line for the wrapper. We'll put some grass around it and some crinkles on the paper, okay? Now the top, where it twists, we're just going to make an arch and stack at least 3 arches together. And then we're going to make several little lines branching off. And then we'll just connect each one with a line like that, and the top one corner to corner, that and there. And that's the twisted wrapper. Now there may actually be some rocks that could be made of jelly beans. Let's put a few of these, just make some arches here and there. We'll put a little bit of grass around, which is like dots or dashes or doodads. And we'll put a line on them. And lastly, we're going to make some lollipop flowers, some little ones, tiny little flowers. So just start by making a line at an angle is good. Maybe a straight one and another angle. And these are, I've made with round lollipops, but you can actually just make it any candy shape that you would like on top of those. Let's put a leaf here like a curved line, and from the tip to the bottom. And do the same thing on this side. Put a line in the middle. I would put some grass, just some dashes. Let's put a little bit of a curve. And let's make one more little tree, a little candy tree or candy flower here. I'll put more circles on each tip. And put a little line on each side. A little bit of grass. And in between, I'm just going to put a few leaves like this, but smaller. And then we can just put a few little bits of grass here and there to give our little land a grassy look. Now our road is a little plain, so we're going to put a little bit of a texture in. And I'll put a few dots here and there. And the closer we get, the bigger the sections will be. Instead of just a couple of dots, we'll put several. You could even put in a few little light lines like that. And I'm sort of just making them, and that's probably as far back as we want to go with our lines. And that is our land of candy. Then when you draw this, you could also work in your gingerbread man, your gummy bear, some gumdrops, and a cupcake. And you would draw those, of course, before you drew all of this, but this is how the background would look. Great job. Wow, drawing that land of candy really was a lot of fun. In fact, it makes me want a piece of candy. Anyway, if you had fun, always remember you can even have more fun by mixing things up and adding in your own ideas. And always remember, until next time, draw, and, oh, wait, if you've had some candy, you might want to brush your teeth. Anyway, draw, and draw some more. Bye-bye.